Welcome to Hoops and Horses. I'm CC Broaddus, joined by Dan Cronin. I hope, Dan, that that guy behind you, that's standing behind you with all that money, I hope you don't owe him anymore.
Yeah, I don't owe any money.
Looks like a wax figure to me. Maybe
That's
like,
that's
are
a
you in a
that's a
wax
lovely individual back there.
museum?
In the skinnier days.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. All right.
Pre-kids.
All right. And we're also joined by Trey Server, Pharmacist to the Stars. Welcome, Trey.
Hello, welcome.
All right, guys. As always, we want to remind you to like, share, and subscribe. Tell us who you like in the comments below. And hopefully one of us will catch a winner. One of these days, we need to go 6 for 6, 7 for 7. Hopefully this is the week. I feel like we've got some pretty decent selections this week. But before we get to all that, let's take a time out and get a word from our sponsor. All right, welcome back to the show, Hoops and Horses. Let's take a look at the weather forecast for Saturday. Gulfstream, Hollandale Beach, Florida, 72 degrees, mostly sunny. Sounds like a perfect weekend down there in Florida. Let's go to Hot Springs, Arkansas at Oaklawn Park. Little chilly, 47 degrees, mostly cloudy, overcast. I think the rain's going to come in maybe on Sunday there. So if you're handicapping for Sunday, keep an eye on the weather forecast. And then Turfway, we're about ready to get covered in snow, I believe, but we may miss it on Saturday. It's just going to be really cold, 27, partly cloudy. The forecast I saw had us getting about 9 inches on Sunday. So looking forward to that. Not. All right, let's get started. We've got 6 races we want to cover. And first, we're going to go to Gulfstream race number 10. This is the Mucho Macho Man Stakes for 3-year-olds going a 1-turn mile. Trey, you're on deck. Tell us about your pick in the Mucho Macho Man.
I believe my pick in this race is Guns Loaded, number 1, breaking from the rail with Luis Saez. Luis looks like he's ridden the 1, 2, and 3 in this race. I would assume he picked the 1 for Jose D'Angelo. This horse was well meant, ran second at Saratoga, and then broke his maiden last race. And fast race, I'm hoping he can get right to the front and just keep on going with that 1 turn. And the 2 and the 3 are going to be tough, and there's obviously a stakes race, but I like the 1 horse here.
That Guns Loaded may have come out of the toughest maiden race at Churchill in November. Already 2 next out winners in that start, and this horse was ultra impressive winning that day. And the runner-up, Camp Hale, has not come back to run yet. So looking forward to seeing what he can do in his next maiden start. So, yeah, Guns Loaded. Going to be loaded, I think, in the Mucho Macho Man. Now let's go to the last race on the card. Race number 11 is the Ginger Brew Stakes on the grass. And, Dan, this is a filly that I had forgotten about. I think I have PTSD seeing this name because I really needed her to get second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf, and I would have had a really nice exacta, but she came up just a bit short after a tough trip.
Yeah, Nitrogen got dead left that day. I mean, we were definitely not expecting her to be way back like that, and then got shuffled back even further on the backside to where when she finally got to make her run, I mean, she ran a heck of a race to be third, and like you said, only got beat a length for second. And Mayday Ready's a really nice one, and we all know who Lake Victoria is. If you don't, you probably shouldn't be betting. But she's a freak. So it's her first start back, but I think with Jose Ortiz coming in to ride, she's going to be somewhere in that first flight, maybe fourth, fifth, right in there, to where she's going to have no excuse if she's ready. And Mark Cassie's been hot. Jose's been on fire. So I didn't really think this horse would be 5-2 when I picked. I thought we'd probably be 7-2, 4-1, but it is what it is. I think the price will hold. I don't think she'll go any lower than that, barring any scratches. But yeah, I'm just trying to get to Nitrogen. I'm spread in the pick 5 like crazy for 4 straight races, just trying to get to her.
See, I like both of these picks in the late double. I would maybe hammer just a 110 double there and see if I can get lucky. I like both of those horses a lot. So, okay, enough for Gulfstream. Let's go to Oaklawn, Hot Springs, Arkansas. And we're in the 9th race. And this is the Smarty Jones Stakes, $250,000, mile and 16th around that Hot Springs Oval. And I hate to give Trey credit. I hate it. I mean, it kills my soul to do this. But in our text chain, he made the case for his selection here, and I got to give him credit. I liked his rationale. So I'm going to give the stage to you while I go throw up. So I got my bucket right here.
All right. Well, I just want it to be known that on January 2nd at 4:40, he agrees with me here. So I just wanted everybody to know that. My selection here is number. Excuse me, I don't even remember the number. It's Mo Quality.
Number 5.
Number 5. And let me explain why I like this horse. Brad Cox has a favorite in this race, shipping up from Fairgrounds, ran in a very slow mile and 16th race, was 4-1 in that race, so he wasn't bet hard. So the word wasn't out on this horse. Now they determined that they want to maybe go on the Derby trail, send him up to the Smarty Jones Stakes, running on a deeper track with a longer stretch. I'm just thinking that this horse was not a horse, and they're kind of just changing their course now. And the fact that Flavian Pratt is going to ride, it's taking all this money. It's even money favorite, morning line. I'm sticking to a horse that I know has a fast race in him, albeit at a little shorter distance. Chris Davis trains. If you watch the replay of the race at Churchill, sits a perfect outside stalking trip, draws away in the lane, and the gallop out is what got me. This horse was still going around the turn. Yeah, so the mile and 16th, I don't think is going to be a problem for this horse. Just had a perfect outside trip at going 6.5 at Churchill. The thing I loved about that trip is that he drew away in the stretch and was still drawing away in the gallop out. So I don't think a mile and 16th is going to be a problem for this horse. So give me Mo Quality for the upset over the Cox horse.
Yeah, I think the Brad Cox horse is going to get really hammered here. And yeah, I really like your idea here. Mo Quality, his sire Motown was a winner going 2 turns. I believe he won the Remsen on the dirt going a mile and 1/8, and he won the Hollywood Derby on grass going a mile and 1/8. So he's the potential is there for a horse to stretch out, especially if you get a price here. I like Mo Quality a lot here, so I will have to use him in my late pick 5 at Oaklawn. Now, let's go to Turfway. Hopefully the snow waits one day, and we'll talk about 3 races here at Turfway. And the 5th race is really interesting, as you've got a horse that's been well bet in probably his last 2 starts. He's not fulfilled his promise yet, and then another horse that showed some talent in his debut, and he comes back here, and that's the one Dan likes in race 5. Tell us about who you like.
Doodle, I like that. Trey likes the Cox horse in here. I like the Bauer horse, so we're kind of going against each other. Go ahead, Trey. Tell me why you like the Cox horse.
But is that Final Gambit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if anybody watches the Turfway replay review show, Jeff Riggs brought attention to this horse. In this first start, gets dead last, gets cut off at the start, makes a pretty good run in a stretch. I'm just thinking that this horse may have something to him, stretching out a little bit, coming around at Turfway. I love Kalahari Dreams. That's the horse that I thought would win last out, but he's gone 3 seconds and hasn't been able to seal the deal. So I'm going to give a new shooter the chance here. So I would say they're evenly matched, but this one's going to get a better price. So I'm going to go with Gambit over Kalahari.
I can't fault you on that at all. I just don't like the fact we were all going to bet on that horse about a month ago, and he got vet scratched at Turfway Park. And ever since then, I just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. And then when I saw Kahari Dreams in this race, all I did was go to Formulator and click on the chart and found out real quick that 4 horses have already won back out of that race. And not only have they won back, Monet's Magic came back, ran a 78 buyer, Burnham Square ran an 86 buyer, and American Promise came out of there and ran a 95 buyer. So, I mean, you've got 3 horses that ran gigantic buyers out of that maiden race, and then another one came out of there and went at Turfway. So you got 4 winners out of 5 starters out of that race, and 3 of them have run gigantic numbers. So, maybe this second place finish last time and hey, it cost me too. Maybe that wasn't so bad. And you get Lasix, you get a good inside post, and it's a 2-horse race. Either the Cox horse is going to come flying and win, or Kalari Dreams is going to win. One of these 2 are going to win. So I would end the pick 5. There's singles elsewhere anyway, so I would just take them both and pick 5s and just leave it at that, because one of them's going to win.
Yeah,
Sounds
sorry,
good to me.
I took terrible notes. One note on Final Gambit: the winner of that maiden race, or that debut race, was Maui Strong. Maui Strong came back to run 3rd in a stake at Gulfstream. I think that was it yesterday or Sunday or Wednesday. I don't know, but he
wasn't yesterday. Yesterday was Wednesday.
Yesterday, yeah. So Maui Strong kind of franked the form of that race. So it's interesting. The only thing with Kalahari Dreams, I think if this race were on dirt, I think obviously he'd be 3 to 5, 2 to 5. Yeah. I don't know. That would be the only. I would take both, I think, if I'm playing pick 5s. So let's go on now to race number 6, another stakes race, the Turfway Preview. Trey, tell us about your selection in the preview.
I don't think this is my preview. I think this is Dan's preview.
Yeah,
I totally screwed my notes up. So it's let's go to Dan. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So this is a typical Dan race that I like to bet against a favorite that's stuck on the fence. I understand taking Touchy in the pick 5, but he's already cost me enough money in the Tremont and then again in the Saratoga Special. So I've had enough of him. And then he beat a decent field at Keeneland and hasn't been seen since. And now he gets stuck on the fence. He's never been on the Tapeta. He's worked on it 3 times. The works have been okay. But there's so much speed in here. I know what Rosario is going to do. He's going to go back to last, and he's going to try to circle the whole field. And maybe he'll be able to do that. But I don't want 3 to 5 circling the whole field at Turfway. The 2's going to go to the lead. The 3's going to go with him. The 4 and 5 got speed. The 7 is all speed for D'Angelo. I think Warheart's going to get the perfect trip, the 8-horse here, for Brissett and Machado, the Axeman. Off a short layoff, he's a stalker. This is what this horse wants to do. He wants to let that speed go. He's going to sit perched 3 wide on the outside, the way they all win at Turfway. And he's going to make his run down the middle of the track, and he's going to be in front of Touchy. So, maybe he gets run down, but that 87 number stands out to me out of a stakes race, and he was geared down there with Le Peru. So I think Warheart's going to be tough, and I know this price will hold because they're going to make the 1-horse 3 to 5. I know it. So I'm taking Warheart. I understand if you want to take them both in a pick 5, but to me, Warheart is a stone single. That's what I'm doing.
All right. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. So let's go now to race number 8. Now I got my notes right. I'm pretty sure Dan likes a horse here in race 8. And this is a great race, by the way. Allowance A other than 6.5 furlongs. And,
yeah, it's a great race, and I'm not happy again with the price. Usually the morning line guy at Turfway will give us a little leeway here. It's like, daggone, man, 5 to 2. I thought for sure we'd be 4 to 1 or higher in here, but I like the 7, Hold My Bourbon. I just saw the morning line for the first time here just a few minutes ago. So, but I mean, Dougie Cowens took this horse 2 starts back, and the numbers have went out of sight since. He got stuck on the fence last time, had to make a way early move after getting left a little bit. Came running up the fence, took a 2-length lead. I mean, they went 44 and change going a 1-turn mile at Churchill. There's no way he could hold on with that, and he got beat right on the wire. Now he turns back to 6.5. He's third off the bench. He's got a decent Tapeta race back against Yellow Card in his first start. He's got a decent turf race too, so maybe this horse can just run on anything. I think he's going to sit mid-pack. You know, Ramos is okay. He's not great. I wish the Axeman was riding him, but I like Hold My Bourbon. You know, Rocky Joy's coming out of a maiden race. I mean, he's going to try to go early. The horse that scares me is Mo Running, who's in the 12 hole out there, but he's stepping up a little bit in class. But he's got a perfect post perched out there in the 12 hole. So we got to beat the 10 and 12. We got to get a trip. But I like Hold My Bourbon in here. I just don't like the price.
I'm gonna give you a price in here. If not necessarily to win, but a horse that you could use underneath, maybe key this horse underneath Dan's horse, and that's the Rail Ajaib. And horse is just 1 for 16 lifetime, but really liked his last effort. And we highlighted this on the Turfway Park replay review. Horse broke from the 12 hole going 6.5. Not a big deal. My problem was that the horse was in the 5 path the entire way around the turn. Horse lost a ton of ground, and the winner that day was either a path or 2 paths inside of him, and went on to win by like 1 3/4. Ajaib was only beaten 2 lengths. This horse never wins, but the way he ran that day, I feel like he could handle this Turfway synthetic track, and I think he could get a part of this at a price. So maybe if you like the 7 horse Hold My Bourbon, play like a straight exact to 7-1, and then play a 7 with 1. Maybe you'll catch one of those crazy 30-1 shots in there in second, and might make that trifecta pay a little bit, or some type of exotic. So yeah, Ajaib is one that I'm going to have an eye on, but I don't like necessarily breaking from the 1 hole. But Fernando de la Cruz is really having a really good run at Turfway, so he knows how to ride.
I was told the barn likes number 10.
There you go, Rocky Joy.
Hopefully they like him run second. He runs second.
It's possible the light bulb goes on with Rocky Joy, and it's one of those deals. He was 0 for his first 8, and he was favored 5 times in a row. I can't get that race at Ellis out of my mind. July 15th, that race was horrible, and he was sent off at 1-2. Looked unbeatable, and he still found a way to lose that race. But I mean, he was in the same situation November 24th, and he got the job done at Churchill. So maybe he's maybe the switch has been flipped on. So interesting to see what he does going forward. He's a nice horse. I wish I owned him. He made almost $200,000. But yeah, so like I said, fun race. Okay, now we're gonna go 6 for 6. I feel it. We have a good weekend. Let's turn our attentions now to basketball, college basketball. Dan's got 3 plays. We're gonna go first. Kentucky at Florida. This is a great game, looks like to me. So you've got an angle here. I'm guessing the spread will be Florida, maybe like 1.5.
Yeah, the game's at Rupp Arena, so I mean, I think Florida will probably be a slight favorite, and that is just I cannot take anybody favorite at Rupp Arena. You're going to give me points at Rupp Arena and take Kentucky. I don't care if Florida's a little bit better. I mean, they're begging you to take Kentucky. Now, if Kentucky's 3 or 4 points, then it's different. But I mean, just from the looks of Ken Palm, and I mean, it looks like they're probably going to be Pick'em or Florida, maybe slight favorite. I got to go with Kentucky. As long as that game's within a point either way, I think Kentucky's going to win a tight game. And I like Florida's team. I really like Kentucky's team, and I love Rupp Arena. The home court is just gigantic. It's one of those courts that's probably worth 6 or 7 points and not three. So I'm taking the Wildcats to pull just a slight upset, even though in my mind it's not.
I love hearing that.
Obviously, I can't do anything right. I'm going to fire my secretary for getting all these games and races wrong. But Arkansas at Tennessee is what I have here. I think that's right.
That is correct.
I've
That
got
I
Tennessee.
hope Tennessee pummels them.
Tennessee's roughly a 12-point favorite on Ken Palm.
Yeah, I don't think they'll make it that high. I mean, if it is, then you got to kind of think about things. But I'm not really wild about Arkansas's team. I like Tennessee's team. I think they'll win by double digits, probably 10 to 12, right in there. So if I get anything under 10, I'm going to take Tennessee. If it gets over 10, I might have to tease it down some. I'm just not a fan of Arkansas's team, and everybody knows none of us are fans of the coach. So um,
Mhm.
it is what it is. I like Tennessee, and I think they're going to win, and I think they're going to. I think the other night they were sleepwalking because they were looking forward to this game against Norfolk State, and they kind of beat Norfolk, but never came close to cover. And I think that spread was like 30. My dad loves Norfolk State. He's bet on them like 15 times. So he was preaching to everybody the other day that they were a lock, and they were. But Tennessee was looking ahead, and I think they were looking for this one. I think they want a piece of Arkansas and to prove how good they are.
Isn't that a hallmark of Calipari's teams, though? They go through that lull, December, kind of early January, and they're like, this team's not that good. Like what a lot of his Kentucky teams, and then they flip the switch at some point, like Rocky Joy's going to do, maybe. But they kind of flip the switch and come on late in the year. But I'm with you. I've only seen them play one time. They didn't impress me at all. But they've got the parts. They can just figure it out. But yeah, Tennessee is they're very good right now. So
Barnes always beats Calipari, so I would take that into consideration too.
all right, last game. I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope this is right. I've got Baylor traveling to Ames, Iowa to play Iowa State.
Yes. Yes. You got that right.
About time.
I like Iowa State, and I don't even think Iowa State has hit their best stride yet. They're still trying to figure out the two guards on who's the best player and who's the role player. And I think at the beginning of the year, everybody had it backwards. Um, but they got two really good guards. I don't like Baylor's team very much. I've watched them play a couple times now, and they're okay. But Iowa State I mean, they are a national title contender. They can win this whole thing, um, especially if Lipsy starts playing better, because he's just been average all year, and he's really, really good. They've got big guys, they've got a coach, they've got guards, and they guard the heck out of you. So I look for Iowa State to win this game 71-58, somewhere in there. And I don't think they'll make the spread that high. I think it'll be under double digits, and I'm just not a fan of Baylor.
Based on Ken Palm's numbers, Iowa State has the 21st toughest home court advantage in all of college basketball, and the place is always tough to play at. Kansas always went up there and got beat every time they had a good team. So and this coach is tough. Otzelberger, he's a hell of a coach. So fun game, gonna be a fun game, fun docket of games there. So all right, that is all I've got. Be sure to go to fatballguyracing.com and you'll get a slew of racetracks over the weekend. I'm still working on Oaklawn for Friday. I've got 5 races to go, but I've got them ironed out, I think. And then big stakes races on Saturday. Of course, Pegasus World Cup coming up here in a few weeks. And Dan's going to have a lot of college basketball selections as well. All right. Anything else you want to declare before we sign off?
Nope, it's a huge Saturday. Got a lot of basketball, a lot of horse racing. It should be fun.
Yeah, I
All
can't
right.
can't believe I'm gonna say it, but I'm confident about this weekend.
There you go.
That is a bad sign. That is a bad sign. That's all I got.
That
going-
picture behind him is going to be a duplicate.
There you go. Get the money.
You and me, we're parting up on this late pick 5 at Oakland. So get
Sounds
ready.
good. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. That's it. On behalf of Dan Cronin, Trey Server, I'm CC Broaddus, reminding you that gambling money ain't got no home. Good night.